welcome to the Come Together podcast. My name's Georgia. Here with me is Lisa, John, Nicola and Josh. We're going to be doing a little discussion about today's reading out of the Spiritual Principle of Day book, which you can find at Narcotics Anonymous. It is August 28th, treating ourselves with respect. We start by not engaging in self-abuse and gradually learn to treat our body, mind and spirit with honour and respect. And the follow-on reading to this is Living Clean, Chapter 4, Wellness and Health. Many of us could accurately describe our active addiction as suicide on the instalment plan. Thankfully, when we stop using drugs, we eliminate a main catalyst of our self-destructive behaviour. Without the compulsion to get high, it's easier to avoid the degradation and criminality that brought us to new lows again and again. Abstinence is one clear marker of our restoration to sanity, and it's certainly a good place to start. Being clean allows us to think more clearly, and that clarity enables us to consider who we've been and who we want to be. The steps offer guidance as we examine our lives, our motives and our choices. We learn from the experience of others, recovering addicts, and it gives us the courage we need to strip away the guilt, remorse and shame. Taking care of our whole selves, body, mind and spirit is part of the amends we make to ourselves. Addiction touches all areas of our lives and so much of our recovery. Many of us seek professional help to find specific healing. One addict shared, my first sponsor explained that doctors, dentists and therapists can also be greater powers than myself. Still, many of us struggle with the urge to undermine our success or to sabotage healthy impulses. Progress is often 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but that's progress nonetheless. As with using, we become aware of our harmful habits before we're willing or able to make change for the better. Our tolerance for self-deception lessens as we gain self-respect. With the help of our higher power, we're quicker to learn the lessons to stop unhealthy habits or to take up new practices that honour our body, mind and spirit. I will honour my recovery process and treat myself with respect today. What can I start or stop doing to better care for myself? Right, so, yeah, self-respect. Takes a while to get there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah. I think when you were reading, I was just thinking, firstly, there's no way I could have any self-respect unless I got clean, because the nature of my addiction is it requires me not to have it in order to do the things that I need to do to get drugs. Like the ways and means that I need. I can't have self-respect in those moments, otherwise I would have never have done them. But it required me to have that in order to like play out that addiction. So for me, the first thing that had to happen was I had to get clean. Even just knowing when I had a few days in, what I didn't realise then is that I'd already started to get a bit of self-respect, just because that little thing inside of me was like, are you actually going to do this? Like, you might actually fucking do this. Like, I never imagined I would. And then being around other people in early recovery, and this is going to sound mad, that could share the same stories of me, it didn't give me self-respect, but what it gave me is the idea that I'm not a monster. So that in itself just gives me a little bit more of like, I'm not a bad person. And I need that in order to have self-respect. Yeah. I needed to hear other people say, I've done that too. And I did that to get drugs, and finally realise that I'm not just this special, unique person who does all these things.
See, I think having self-respect is also about having the belief that you deserve it as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when you're going through your addiction, you feel worthless. You feel that no one cares. So why should you? You know, and that's where we continue going. But I think once you become aware of, actually, I do deserve respect from myself, and then when I'm then respecting myself, other people will do exactly the same.
For me, it was learning what self-respect was. You know, because I'd spent so many years in like addiction or drug use and being around people that didn't respect me. You know, it was all new to me, and I think setting boundaries and things like that, and learning that I deserve respect, and you know, that I was worthy of respect, you know, and what respect was and how people should be treating me as well. You know, it was all a learning curve for me, and yeah, it wasn't easy to learn that, you know, as well. It's like, oh yeah, guess what? I do deserve to be treated, you know, with respect and, you know, behaviours, you know, that you accept off people during your addiction and stuff. And it was all like, no, I deserve better than this, you know. And so it's all learning about yourself as well, I think, I found.
That come like, and it's just recent for me that through the process of going through the steps and that amends to myself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What I'm okay with, what I'm not okay with. And like, and I didn't even become aware of these things beforehand. I wasn't even aware that like I wasn't okay with certain things in my life. And I'm like, actually, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And being able to say no and then be at peace with it in myself.
Yeah, and
you know,
I think I found too, what I didn't find was, I didn't know that these people weren't being respectful to me. I just took this as normal behaviour, you know, and it was only like when I came into recovery and doing my step work and stuff and realising what boundaries were and things like that, because obviously a lot of us do drop our boundaries in addiction, you know, and it's like realising that, you know, what a boundary is and what it means and how other people, you know, you deserve to be treated of other people as well, not just yourself, and having that empathy for yourself as well, I suppose, you know. But yeah, it's a difficult one, I think, sometimes.
There was a good thing I heard the other day, actually. It was like the difference between self-love and self-respect. So like self-love is like indulging in the things that you want, and self-respect is like having control of their impulses and knowing like when you're taking it too far, like I'm going to treat myself to 10 cheeseburgers this week. It's kind of harmful to yourself as well, and that's not really having respect for your body. So when it spoke about in that reading, your mind, your body and your soul, like what you're putting into yourself, like that self-love, because really all we're left with is ourselves at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And it's taking care of that inner being and being able to be like, do you know what, I have treated myself well today, and I've not reacted in certain ways today, and I've done the right things today, and I'm okay with myself today.
And also, I think it was about, like, since I've been in recovery, wanting to respect my body more, like, so go at gym, you know, and things like that, and, like, doing things, like, getting my nails done, doing things that I've never done for myself, you know, for a long time, and, you know, never seen that as...
You mentioning that, like, my head's got this thing where it loves to do things. That's not good for me. So like going to the gym, eating clean, picking up the pen when I need to do the work and stuff, I'll procrastinate and I'll put it off completely because my head tells me it's not good for me. But like eating shit food and just lolling about,
you feel shit,
acting out, like it's just so much, it's comfortable.
It's that instant gratification, because it tastes nice for a second, but then you feel like shit afterwards.
Do you know, when you said that as well, like I think a big part, like, and we don't, it's took me a while to learn this, but another way that I learn self-respect, is when I actually start treating other people with respect, because I didn't understand why I couldn't have those feelings about myself, and we've said it, like allowing people to treat you that way, but I also treated a lot of people really badly when I was using. I've done it in recovery, and that allows me to victimise myself and degrade myself even more. So like if I don't also work on giving other people respect, I don't feel like I'm going to gain that for myself. Like, and then when I do that, I'm able to go, no, I don't want to do that. No, this is my boundary. If you don't like it, not my problem, you know, like, but it's a two-way street. Like, I treated people like shit and I expected things of other people to fix me. When I started treating other people the way that I wanted to be treated, I started to have that self-esteem picks up, like, I am a good person and I am a kind person, and that reinforced that self-respect. Like, that's what I have to do on a daily basis,
when knowing when to say and when to not as well. So like there was a bit in reading my step 10 out, it's like when you want to tell someone that what they're doing is wrong, but really what you're doing is being like,
there's a word,
and I can't remember the word, but you're putting yourself above them for a start. Self-righteous, that's the exact words it said. So you're being self-righteous. So like it's knowing like when you're harming somebody else, when to pull away, and when to know when to just walk away, when to say nothing, when to just leave it, and having that connection with a power greater than yourself, you know, like that can be taken. I don't need to take care of that. I don't need to be
so I reckon
disrespectful to other people, because even though you're telling them the truth, it can be disrespectful.
But
you know.
Again, learning about judgment
Yeah.
Yeah.
and judging people. We didn't like being judged,
Yeah.
so we shouldn't judge. You
Yeah.
know.
I think we're all guilty
Like,
of it.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
because
aren't we?
during recovery I've found my voice, but in a good way.
Mm.
I could talk before, but couldn't make much flipping sense. You know, it was like the anger would come out fine. You know what I mean? But if I was in a social setting, then I'd fumble over my words and not know what to say and things like that. And as I've become like more serene, you know, and think more about what I'm speaking, I'm a lot more understandable, you know, and things like that. And like being able to tell people what I want and how I want them to treat me as well, you know, is
Do you know, I think one of the things that's like not difficult, but like, do you know when we're talking about boundaries and stuff like that, I think setting boundaries and not wanting people to talk to us a certain way and having them act around a certain way around us, we can't like expect people to tiptoe around us. We've got to sort of learn to love them for who they are, because at the end of the day, as much as we're working a programme, they're not.
yeah.
Someone said something to me which is amazing, and this is what taught me around boundaries, which is, I used to think when I come in, boundaries were, you say something to me I don't like, I say, don't say that to me again.
Yeah.
I thought that was a boundary. What I learnt as time goes on is what a boundary is you say something to me I don't like, I say, that's okay, that's you, I'm going to walk away from this situation.
Your boundary's your boundary.
It's my boundary.
It's not their
they
boundary.
don't have to respect
Yeah.
it. They don't have to take it on. It's my choice. Then a boundary is, okay, I didn't like what you said
Not
to me
going
there,
to put myself
but
in
I'm
that
going to
again.
take myself out
Yeah.
of the situation. And
Yeah,
I was
that-
like,
It's
Yeah.
boundaries.
And it's like,
You can't
not
set
going at
boundaries for
things-
somebody else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I remember someone saying to me
Yeah.
after I relapsed, I can't be around you now.
Yeah.
You're going to make me unwell. Like, I need to put a boundary in with you. And a couple of weeks later, she rang me up and she said, are we all right? And I said, no. And she went, why? I said, because you can't put a boundary on me. I said, that's
Yeah.
your boundary. If you're going to get unwell around me, I said, you need to remove. That's what you need to do for you.
Yeah.
Don't be putting that onto me.
because
you
that's
know.
what I found, like, usually if I was right, I'd be adamant that
Well,
they
that's
need
it,
to
yeah.
see me as right and they need to see that I am right, but I've learnt now that just to leave it, you know, you don't have to show them that you're right to, you know,
don't have to
be-
harm
yeah,
no one.
yeah,
Don't
exactly,
have
you
to
know, I
harm-
can leave things
Yeah.
even if I'm right, you
Yeah.
know, and it's
Boundaries for me are just healthy, positive things in relationships. They're not harmful. The difference is if somebody feels harmed by it, then that's not my problem. If,
Yeah.
if it puts them in feelings, then that's not my
Yeah.
responsibility. All I need to say is, I'm going to walk away from this. This is my stuff, or I can't. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, you need to change this because it makes me
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like...
I always, if it's something I'm being spoke to, talked down to, and I don't like it, I'm done. I walk away.
Yeah.
I don't follow up with any of it. I'm done,
yeah.
and I walk away.
As long as we just do it kindly, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to wrap it up now, boys and girls. But it's been a lovely chat. A lot of insight there. So yeah, thanks for watching. Give us a like, a share and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.